photo of all the press photographers.
Oh.
I think that's going to have to go out.
Looking at me with my little camera like behind the curtain.
No. Okay, how's everybody here?
Doing well.
Good.
Doing well. How are you?
I'm going to come back to that in a second to give you my full concentration.
Don't worry, it's okay. I'll check all those tweets.
Call me old-fashioned.
Be sure to @ Green Arrow TV.
So do you think we've seen the beginning of Quentin?
What, Green Arrow TV?
That's me.
Oh, that's you, is it?
Yes.
Ah.
So do you think we've seen the beginning of Quentin and his wife starting to get back together now that they've kind of bonded over?
Well, they've certainly started some. They've laid some track, haven't they?
Right.
They've sown the seeds. So I don't think they did these things for no reason.
Right.
They seem to know how to develop a mythology on the show. They're doing very well
Right.
with that. So. Yeah, it's interesting because you get all these different, as the developments occur, you suddenly sit there and you go, oh yeah, of course, because that's what they said in episode 6 and now it's episode 40. Oh yeah, that all makes sense. So everything seems to have some relevance. It's a nice tight script.
Yeah.
No wasted nonsense. Answer your question?
Yeah.
Probably
Do you
not.
feel like there's good chemistry with you and?
Say again?
Do you think that you guys have, a lot of chemistry together as like a couple or whatever? Would you like to see that develop?
Myself and Alex?
Yeah.
Well, it's our second time round because we did ER about 10 years ago.
Right.
We had our little flirting over medical words, so it was very difficult to say.
So is that how Sarah and Quentin met?
Yeah, we met in hospital.
At the ER.
At the ER. Did I meet you at the ER one time? I think I did. You didn't talk like that. You've changed. So yes, that's. So I don't know whether we've got chemistry or not. We'll just get on with it. But she's great to work with. So I guess it's the second time round. Something must be going on.
Right.
The episode Salvation, where Dinah was back, seemed to be one of the first times Quentin actually smiled a bit. Was
Go
that
figure.
intentional?
Maybe you got. No, I can't say that.
You can say it. It's fine.
Go on.
I promise not to tweet it.
Suggestion is much better than saying things. So, do you think what was the?
Was it an intentional choice to make Quentin clean shaven, happy for a change?
Was that clean shaven?
A lot more than usual.
I think it was actually. I think it did. Yeah, that's right. It just was. I mean, it's probably the least heavy. For a moment, it's actually quite sad. Because he spent 5 years completely in pieces, really, and 3 years, since he last heard of his wife, and just for that moment, for them just to sort of almost return to those old days, which happened very effortlessly because they just sort of slipped back after the initial shock, sort of slipped back into that quite effortlessly. And it was, he reminded himself of being, he's actually a human being after all, and he has experienced love and relationship, but he's not able to. It's been a long time, so when he was able to, it was kind of like, wow, this is nice. So yeah, he was happy, and then she ran off again. So
Just like a...
In a flash.
Isn't that just like River?
I noticed that when you and Cassidy do a lot of scenes together, it just seems like there's a lot of, a lot of intensity in it. How do you prep for all?
We talk about it. We talk about our relationship and our history as a family. I think it's important to do that. That's my approach to acting, and Katie as well. And I just think it helps because there's a lot of words on a scene, and words are words, but actions like relationship between the two. That's where you see relationship. Just I'm sitting like this, I'm sitting like that. I don't want to think about them when I sit like that, but if I can do, but that will just happen once you've talked about history. And the more you talk about the history of relationships, especially family ones, which are so intense in every way, as everybody knows, that's when relationship, mentality sort of creates the physicality, and you just sort of, that stuff just happens. You don't really think about it because you've sat there and done your work. That's, to me, that's what acting is. The bit you do in front of the cameras, that's kind of like just the last little bit at the end of it. It's what you do before that, where you're developing character, history, relationship. That's acting to me, and then hopefully just sort of let it all go in front of the camera at the end of the day. So Katie and I work on that a lot together, because especially when there is so much sort of history, so much heavy history, and that's hopefully what you're referring to in terms of intensity. It's not meant to be intense, it's just meant to be what it is.
No, that's...
So that's that.
How might Quentin react if his daughter or his ex-wife ever decided to become a vigilante themselves?
I'll be fine. Love it. Go ahead, make my day. How would? Well, that's a question. I think he'd just give up. He'd be like, oh, sod it, go on, do it. See if I can. One more's not going to make any difference to my misery, is it? Yeah, maybe just joining himself at the end, who knows?
That's awesome.
Is he aware of all the crime that's going on in the Glades right now?
Yes, he's a detective. He goes to work each day. Anything happening? Oh, there's crime going on. I didn't realise.
We investigate crimes here?
Yeah, what's going on, people? He is aware. Yeah, obviously this Glades thing has been, this ongoing problem for many a moon. So, yeah, he's aware of that.
And might we see any interaction between him and Malcolm Merlin?
Yeah, because the one that we had was... I've had two scenes with Monsieur Barrowman. One was walking past each other in the hallway and he went, detectives. And then the other one, he was passed out on a stretcher when he was given his transfusion. And I just looked at him and went... And that was it. So I don't know. Who knows what our future holds.
Is Quentin involved at all in the flashback episode?
The flashback episode?
Episode 21, which shows before Oliver was on the island.
Oh, that aspect. Yeah, so... no. Imagine if he was there and he was like really happy and smiley and like days before the... Yeah.
It's like jumping around and excited to just like about everything. It's like, oh my god.
I love my life.
It's like, oh my god, I just found an apple. You guys are gonna eat this apple. Exactly. It'd be like the opposite of Dokes in the first few seasons of Dexter.
You've lost me there.
Yeah.
I do that a lot, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So Quentin and Hilton have a storyline coming up in a couple episodes. Is that a big story for both of you?
Not so much. No, it's... We're doing our copying and detectiving and all that sort of stuff. We're not like, suddenly find out they've got 2 adopted children or anything. Nothing like that.
With your acting, like you said, you developed, like you talk about the history with Katie. The show is sort of complex, and we've got so many flashbacks and timeline things going on. How much is that the writers letting you know what your relationship with everybody is, and how much is that you talking to Katie or the other characters and being like, well, I think maybe these are the reasons why we're feeling this way or doing this thing more?
Well, the one thing with TV is that, you never know what the writers are going to come up with next. And, you could take an episode or 2 and be like, okay, so he seems like a pretty decent guy, so he probably went with this, maybe he feels that way about himself. And then, episode 4 is like, it turns out he was an axe murderer. And you're like, oh, God, that's kind of messed up my backstory somewhat. Adapt, and you kind of, it's one of those things. You just have to kind of like, okay, I'll take out the bit where he saved puppies and I'll say that he strangled children, hamsters instead. And, sitting there and kind of like that one in. So it could be, sometimes you have to adapt somewhat, but, in order to lessen those occasions, at the beginning of things, talk to the producers. What have we got? What you got in mind, roughly? Okay. Hopefully, we're all vaguely on the same page, and then take it from there. And then if it turns out it's the axe murderer, you just have to reprogram a bit.
Can we now see a dream sequence where Quentin is an axe murderer? Because I really want to see that.
I'll do it today when I go back. I'll do a quick sort of.
At least post the pictures on Twitter.
I'll do it. I'll do it later.
What would you like to see from Quentin in the show's future?
What would I like to see? I think I was thinking about it actually the other day. I think there's a point where, obviously he's weighed down very much by the tragedy of his life in this season, in this first season. And I think as difficult, grief, particularly of your own child, is not something you ever are going to get over fully and utterly. But I'm just wondering if there's a way in which, because it's like letting go of the hope, it's the hope that kind of, when Diana Lance came back with the idea of hope, it was like that was the toughest thing all over again, because it's like, well, maybe there is hope, but it's like, I think if you can finally resolve that, it is over, it will help somehow to turn a corner and to maybe see life in a different way with a different attitude. And I'm wondering about that for the future. In terms of, you know, it happened. Move on. So smile a little. You've still got one daughter left.
You can make another.
I don't know if he's getting there. Okay, nice to talk to you guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Make sure I pick up the right phone.